Hey guys, welcome back to Vinceville Custom. So today we're going to do a speedrun video on repainting the Sideshow Collectibles Mystique Legendary Scale bust. Now a friend of mine gave me the idea with this. It's been sitting on my closet for a while. I needed something to do with it. So what he did with his LSB is he just pretty much masked off the shoulders, the face, and the hair, and he repainted the outfit white. And that's old school Mystique. And if anyone's read old X-Men comic books, she always had the white outfit. When Sideshow produced this one, it must have been a more modernized version or from a specific storyline where she had a black latex outfit. So we're going to go old school. It's actually a really straightforward video. It's really simple, so I'm not really going to explain much except now in the beginning, and then we'll just dive into the paint work and then see what she looks like at the end. All I'm going to do is go into the garage. Going to score up some of this outfit mostly, some of the skin around here in the face, just to give a little bit of scoring, clean off the dust, and I'm going to hit it with Duplicolor Clear Primer. This stuff is great to prime up an item without having to strip the paint or do like a gray primer or red primer. You don't really need to do that much. Most of the factory paints are so well coating on the resin that if you get a good primer on it, it'll stick. Because if you try to spray acrylic directly to this smooth surface here, what will happen is the acrylics will kind of bleed off and not really bond. As long as you get this scuffed up a little bit and then hit it with the primer, acrylics will stick to it with no issue whatsoever. So as you look at her right now, she looks like a porcelain doll almost, because the factory just painted the skin tone one light blue and then a little bit of shading blue, and that's it. What I want to do is I want to bring out the cheekbones a little bit more. I want to darken up the eye sockets, make her look a little sexy, and also flatten it too at the end, because right now it's very, very shiny factory paint. So I think if I could flatten it, it'll make it look more alive and a little bit more natural skin, I guess you could say. So that's the goal with that. The teeth, the eyes are fine. I'll probably play with them a little bit in the beginning, get them kind of cleaned up, clear coat them, and then work on the skin tone. Unless maybe I'll do the eyes last. I'm not really sure yet. Right now I just want to get her like primed up. The lips, I'm going to look online a couple like, cosplay girls, what they did with their stuff. I'll look at like, the movie version of Mystique and then some of the comic book art, and I'll decide what I'm going to do with the lips on there. The hair, I'm going to do like, dark mahogany roots, and then I'm going to kind of bring it back to sort of this color here, but make it a little bit more lively than just kind of really dull. And then the outfit is going to be straight up white outfit with some grayish blue shading here and there, because we're going to go old school with it. So the hardest part in the whole thing is going to be masking in here. Once I get through all that, it's pretty much straightforward. So that's pretty much the explanation of the whole project. It's just blue paint with skin tones, a white outfit, and red hair. So there's not much to it than that. So I'll take a picture of her now, and then at the end of the video, we'll take a look at her in the photo studio, but we'll do a side-by-side comparison of the factory and my paint up. You guys can let me know what you like better. But sit back, enjoy the video with some music, and we'll see you at the end of the video.
Easy days I do remember. We were running still, had the whole world at our feet, watching seasons change. Our roads were lined with adventure, mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand open arms. This is home where we are, ever strong in the world that we made. I still hear you in the breeze, see your shadows in the trees, holding on. Memories never change.
Okay, so she's all finished up. I had a lot of fun working on this. I really do love the LSB line from Sideshow. I wish they would bring it back, especially now that they have like the DC going. I think it's a really good scale. It also reminds me of like Bowen Design bus back in the day, except it's just larger and it doesn't overtake your like collection room, but you get to see like some more of like a detailed look on the face features of your favorite characters. So I can only hope that maybe down the line they'll bring back the LSBs, you know, with some of the DC characters. I'd love to get like a Flash in this scale, a Power Girl, maybe even like a Harley. Just a bunch of different characters they could really go. And I'm really sad that they stopped the line with the Marvel stuff too, because there's a lot of Marvel characters I would have loved to have in this scale, but they just pretty much stopped it. I don't know, maybe it wasn't selling well. I have no clue, but I know a lot of people that I talked to would really love to have this line over the life-size bus, because the life-size bus take up too much room. But, you know, going from there, it's still a really great item. Plus, being able to work on like an old-school version of Mystique is a lot of fun too, because, I mean, the skin tone is just a lot of fun to work with blue skin tones. You really don't have to worry about making it super lifelike. You get to do what you want with it, so it was really cool. So let's break down what I did. Basically, when I first start up a LSB, especially something in this size, it's always easier to do the eyes, because the eyes are a little bit bigger. You can kind of mask them off, and you can get away with doing them first. Whereas trying to do them at the end is a little bit more difficult, especially if you want to airbrush. So as I was working on it, I realized that whoever sculpted it actually had pupils sculpted there. So her eyes are actually looking in this direction. There's a pupil circle here and there's one over here. And I was like, you know what, that looks really cool. I really should actually bring those out a little bit more, because when I looked at the prototype version of this, I really didn't see any of like the pupils being like worked with paint. And especially when you got the factory piece in the beginning of the video, all it was like white paint with some like yellow bleeding around the edges, and that was it. So I decided to go in with a paintbrush and bring out the circles a little bit more. I pretty much did like white airbrush paint in the center of the pupils, and then I did like yellow clear washing around it. I added some like pearls into the eyes too a little bit, just to make it look glow. So when you're far away from her in person, it almost looks like her eyes are pure yellow and they're kind of glowing at you almost in a sense. But when you get in a little bit closer, it's a little bit more lifelike, where you actually get to see, oh, there's a pupil there and it's got some white to it and there's a little bit of a light circle around it. So it actually makes you feel like, okay, it's a little bit more lifelike there. So I also did the teeth too. It's easier to paint up the teeth too with an airbrush. Did a little bit of washing on each side of the teeth, you know, on the left and right corners, just to kind of give you that, like, the front of the teeth are like white and it kind of gets a little bit darker as they start to bend around the mouth. And then I glossed those up. And once I did those, I pretty much just did up the skin. I masked off the teeth, the eyes, and I did the skin. I really wanted to bring out the skin a lot more than what the factory did. Even though the factory had a little bit of light shading here and there, I really wanted to make it a little bit more lifelike. So I pretty much had a nice light blue base, and then I went in with some purples, I went in with some dark blues, a little bit of hints of black in there too, only because blue skin like this you could get away with throwing a little bit of black paint in there, not much, just maybe around the eye socket areas, but most of it's kind of like darker blues and purples in there. And I just really wanted to bring out the face features a little bit more. I mean, it's such a really great sculpt. And it's just, you know, factory just not going to sit there and take their time in a couple hours doing it. They're just going to, you know, one color there, one color shading here, and then get it out the door. So it's kind of a lot more fun. And then what I did is I used a lot of the women's makeup, and I did a lot of the eyeshadow because I really wanted to bring out these eyes a little bit more and just make it like sink in, because it's like if you don't do that in the way the factory did it, it just seems like the eye just comes straight up, whereas this feels like it's curved in and then you have the socket coming around. So that's what I did with that. And I brought out the cheekbones a little bit more, the neck muscles underneath the mouth, the chin, the nose, and just really had some fun with that. Now once you get through that point, it's a matter of masking off all the skin and you know, doing the outfit. But what I did do is I did up the eyelashes. I worked out the, you know, the corners and all that stuff of the eyes. And as for the lips, I wanted to do my own little take on the lips. Now, if you know a lot about the makeup back in the 90s, what a lot of the women would do is they would do like that black outliner around their lips. At least all the girls in my high school were doing it. So I wanted to do a throwback to that and just have a little fun with this. So the lips got like a really dark red, really bright red. I put a little bit of pearls into it, so I figured once I gloss it up, it'll pop a little bit more. But the liner around the lips is kind of like a mahogany with a red. It's not really black. It's kind of more mahogany, but it looks black. So I thought that would be kind of cool for it. Just make her pop a little bit more. Now on to the outfit. Outfits with white is a little bit tricky. You can go pure white with a little bit of gray shading and make it look flat. But I wanted to give her more of a satin, sort of silky outfit, but not like super pearlized and not super like interference. So I kind of mixed up a lot of different colors. So what I did is I basically masked it off. I went in with my like gray blue shading. I did all those areas first, and then what I did is I worked in some whites. I worked in some pearlized whites. I took down the pearlized white with some normal flat white. I went in with a little bit of transparency pearls again. I went in with some transparency of the interference blue. And then what I did is after that, I kind of started to take it down. I went within with, what was it, the Vallejo Mecha Colors Satin. And I sort of kind of take it down a little bit. And I used some of the matte varnish too. And I took it down because I didn't want it to be super pearlized. I didn't want to look at like a pearlized silky dress, or I didn't want it to look like you know, latex white. I wanted it to more flat, but give a little bit of that satin look to it. So that's what I went with the outfit. I don't know how well it's shown in the camera, but in person you can feel that it feels like it's a thicker outfit than a thin silky outfit. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But after that, the last part is the hair. So the hair is pretty much mahogany with some reds. And I just wanted to give it more of that, you know, old 90s look pretty much. You know, I looked at a lot of the artwork and how the hair was. And I just wanted to give it a little bit more of that pop to it. Went in with the paintbrush, the airbrush, and just worked it out. I didn't do any washes there because I think the factory, they did a lot of washing of like black paint to get it into all those crevices. I didn't really want to go that route. I just wanted to make it pop a little bit more like that. And then after that, I pretty much just did the skull as a pale gold. Now, I asked my friend, back in the day, was the skull on the forehead, you know, was it silver, was it metal, was it gold, was it like bone? And he says what he does is he just goes pretty much with like Bowen did. And Bowen's Mystiques actually had like the gold. So I guess, you know, whatever Bowen did, he would have to contact Marvel, and Marvel would dictate saying, okay, actually the skull should be like gold instead of bone or silver. So that's kind of what I went with that look. So she pretty much looks straight out of the old, you know, Mystique books from X-Men. I mean, this is more Mystique that I know. White outfit, bright blue, you know, skin tone, the red hair, and the red lips. It just feels more of that old X-Men Mystique look to her. So that's pretty much it. I mean, once I got done with all that, she's pretty much ready to go. So let me know what you guys think. I had a lot of fun doing this. LSBs, they're really great items. Check them out if you actually ever, you know, get a chance to find any on eBay or see them in person. I really want to actually do some more of these because they're just a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of work because the face features in the outfit you could get away with changing, but when you want to do a hair or helmets on them, then that's where you get a lot of work and a lot of materials need to be done. But it's still a great item. So there you go. That is Mystique LSB repainted. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.